Good evening. This will begin our fiscal year 2024 millage rate hearing for June 15th, 2023. Ms. Lanita Broom, please go ahead and present the final.
Good evening, board members and community. Today's millage rate hearing is the third and final of 3 public millage rate hearings held this month. The first and second hearings were held on June 8th at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. After today's third hearing, the Board of Education will vote on the final millage rate at a virtual call board meeting at 5:15 p.m. A millage rate is a property tax on the value of property. 1 mill is equivalent to 0.1%. 1 mill translates into $1 of property taxes per 1,000 of assessed value. Therefore, 21 mills, which is the tentative adopted millage rate, would equate to $21 per 1,000 of assessed value. The Taxpayers' Bill of Rights is Senate Bill 177 and Act 431 and was signed April 30th, 1999 and became effective January 1st, 2000. The bill's main purpose is to enhance individual property owners' rights and transparency by ensuring all stakeholders are informed. Taxing authorities, such as the Board of Education, are required to hold 3 public hearings if adopting a millage rate higher than the computed rollback rate. The computed rollback rate is 19.179, and the tentative millage rate under adoption is 21. Additionally, the bill prevents indirect tax increases resulting from increases to existing property values due to inflation. The Board of Education has tentatively adopted to maintain the current millage rate of 21 for fiscal year 2024. However, the final adoption of the millage rate is scheduled immediately after this budget hearing. There are numerous justifications for maintaining a millage rate above the rollback rate of 19.179, including allowing the district to maintain a fund balance within the 4 to 15% range as specified by board policy, providing salary increases to all employees, funding the state's unfunded mandate for health benefits increases for non-certified employees from $11,340 to $18,960 annually. The district will also be able to provide additional personnel for instruction, security, and support staff. The district is also required under the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights to compute the rollback rate that will produce the same revenue that would have been produced on the current digest if last year's millage rate was unchanged and no reassessment occurred. This slide is a computed rollback millage rate. As you can see in the middle of the form, under the title Calculations of Rollback Rate, the rollback rate is listed in red, 19.179. This is 1.821 mills less than the current millage rate of 21. This means if the district elected to collect the same amount of property tax revenue for next fiscal year 2024, as was collected for this fiscal year, the millage rate would need to be rolled back to 19.179. In the lower right corner in red is the percentage increase in property taxes for the millage rate of 21. Compared to the rollback millage rate of 19.179, there is a 9.49% increase. This means for a home with a fair market value of $600,000, the tentative annual tax increase would be approximately $546. And the tentative tax increase for non-state homestead property with a fair market of $775,000 would be approximately $705 annually. Whenever the millage rate exceeds the rollback rate, Georgia law requires districts to issue a press release, advertise the 5-year history of levy, advertise the public hearings, and hold 3 public millage rate hearings. Advertisements were listed in the Champion newspaper and are on the district's website. This is the press release that was sent to the Champion newspaper announcing the 9.49% increase over the rollback millage rate and the dates and times of the public hearing and board meeting for final adoption. This slide is the advertisement of the current 2023 property tax and 5-year history of levy. The history of levy shows the gross digest value highlighted in green, less exemptions, which gives you the net digest value highlighted in yellow. The net digest value multiplied by the millage rate gives you the total taxes levied. For the current budget, at a millage rate of 21, the total taxes levied is 60 million. Please note that the board did not receive the actual tax digest until after the board tentatively approved the millage rate in May. The fiscal year 24 budget was based off a projection of 54 million. The actual amount expected to be received is approximately 59 million minus collection fees, delinquent accounts, and appeals. This slide is the notice of property tax increase. The notice of property tax increase was advertised on June 1st and June 8th. This notice advertises the 9.49% increase in property tax and also the dates and times of the 3 hearings. Additionally, this notice provides the financial impact of the increase for a home with a fair market value of $600,000 and non-homestead property with a fair market value of $775,000. As explained on a previous slide, this slide shows a visual of the millage rate since 2005. The millage rate increases and decreases are directly related to the economy and the needs of the district. This is your fiscal year 2024 budget with a millage rate of 21. When the board voted for the tentative millage rate of 21 at the May's board meeting, again, the vote was based off of the projected 7% growth and the fund balance percent of the expenditures was 7.19%. This concludes your fiscal year 24 third public hearing for the millage rate. Thank you.
Thank you, Lenita.
You're welcome.
Can you, so when we voted to tentatively approve 21 mills, it would have left us with a fund balance of, I apologize.
This is for with the actual tax digest, not the projected. And so it would leave us with 12.15 if you all were to adopt a fund millage rate of 21.
Okay. And you have this on the previous slides, and I apologize. I wrote it down, but I did not have time to make it home from work today.
No problem.
Do you remember when we approved it before we got the updated tax digest, what that fund balance percentage was going to be?
It was about 7.19%.
7.19%.
And I have it on, when you all vote, I have that slide that has a 7.19%.
Okay.
For the next meeting.
Correct.
Okay. I'm good. I don't have any other questions. I don't know how long we're supposed to stay on for it or whatever.
It's 5:10. The called board meeting is set to begin at 5:15.
And that will just be a straight continue. I mean, obviously we'll go through the parliamentary procedure to close this one and open that one, but it'll be the same call. I suspect that
Yes,
if we
we
have,
just stay right here.
great. I suspect if we have folks from the public on this call, they're interested in hearing what we actually adopt, which is why I just want to make sure. Please stay on the call for the 5:15 where we actually take the votes around the millage rate.
I'm going to log off and back on because I'm having some technical difficulties.
I'll be looking for you.
I'll be right back.
Fine, I have it at 5:15.
Yes, sir. This will conclude the final millage rate hearing. Chair Herndon.
Excellent. I'd like to call to order a meeting, special called meeting to discuss and vote on the millage rate for 2023-2024 at 5:15 p.m. on June 15th. And then I guess the next step is, Lenita, what did you have to show us or?
Okay. Good evening, board chair, members of the board, colleagues, and community. We started the budget process in November 2022, and we have had ongoing budget discussions every month and sometimes twice a month. Today's final vote on the millage rate is the last action required to finalize the fiscal year 24 budget. The district has met the requirements of Georgia law by issuing a press release regarding the millage rate, advertising a 5-year history of levy, advertising the public millage rate hearings, and we have held 3 public millage rate hearings. This is your fiscal year 2024 general fund budget, which shows the projected tax revenue for a millage rate of 21 if the tax digest revenue increased by 7%. The ending fund balance is 7.19%. The actual tax digest with the tax revenue of 59 million and a millage rate of 21. The ending fund balance is 12.15%. Ideally, the preference is to maintain a fund balance no lower than 10%. If the board voted to reduce the millage rate by 7/10 to 20.30, the fund balance would be 10.10%. Reducing the millage rate from 21 to 20.30 will reduce the tax increase for property with a fair market value of $600,000 from $546 to $336. Are there any questions? And I'll go back to the slide. I'm sure you guys back to this slide in case there's any questions or discussions.
I don't have any questions. I'll say, since we're recording and there are a few members of the public available, that the 0.7 does a good job of balancing the board's need to take good stewardship of the system to keep our fund balance above at 10%. We were very grateful of having a fund balance when COVID happened, when we began to do that. But it also kind of rolls back higher than they would because Decatur continues to grow and the tax digest continues to grow. And so, yeah, that's our thinking. And I'll let Jane or Hans throw in if they have anything else.
No questions or no additional comments. Just let me, when it's appropriate to make the motion. I think my general index would be to select that last column and roll the millage back 0.7 of a point.
Yeah, it's to make this more conversational. It's hard to argue with spending what we thought we were going to spend, getting the fund balance up, and returning some of the anticipated tax funds back to the property owners, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll Hans, it sounds like you would like to make a motion.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to roll the millage of 21 back to 20.3 and adopt the 2023-2024 budget with the updated rolled back millage of 20.3 mils.
Okay. Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Excellent. Okay. Hearing no objections, all in favor, say aye.
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 There you go. So that has the requisite 3 votes that it needs, and so it passes. So there we go. With 2 abstaining, I guess I should have said that beginning with myself, Chair, Board Member Jana Johnson Davis, and Board Member Hans Utz voting to the 20.3, and then the other 2. Carmen's had expressed her support for it publicly at the board meeting on Tuesday night. So excited about the new millage rate.
Thank you, fellow board members, and I certainly, I'm sure the community is thanks all of us for actually rolling the millage back. So it's a good step, first step, but a good step.
Absolutely. And Lanita, I want to personally thank you for being dynamic with getting these numbers together and being able to present them to us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing further, then I will call this public meeting to pass the millage rate adjourned at 5:21 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.